Hi there, Titans, and welcome back to another Titan Academy video. Today we're going to be talking about the gallery elements in Titan Web. First, we're going to show you how we have a bunch of different elements that you can use, so we'll show you a quick overview of the different elements. Then we will show you how to map static images to some of these elements. Next, we'll show you how to map dynamic images from Salesforce to these images. And finally, we'll cover some of the basic interactivity options that you have for these elements. Let's get started. The first thing that you would want to do is head over to your pink plus button and come to Media, and under Media you'll see a section for Gallery, and we have these 4 gallery elements right here. Each of them have slightly different use case, so you can take a look at which one you want. I'm just going to show you quickly the different options here. So first of all, we've got here the carousel, which like it looks, it's a carousel that you can flip through different images and have your end user basically scroll through a bunch of different images in their gallery. We also have a testimonials carousel. This is more like mapping let's say, teachers at a school or staff members or whatever it might be, where you want to map an image and maybe a little bit of a blurb about that person, their name, their title, etc. So you can use this testimonial carousel for that. We also have our extended gallery, which is basically like your gallery as well, but you have the option to add a little bit more data into here than you would in a typical gallery. And we have our gallery grid, which instead of showing everything in a scroll fashion, you can see it all together in a grid. Now, the first thing I want to show is how we can map static values to our gallery. So this doesn't work for all the different gallery elements. In fact, I believe this is the only gallery element that will allow you to map static images, but you can click on Edit Mapping, and this will allow you to add images to your gallery. So for example, I'll just choose a couple of images here. All right, and now I have various images in my gallery. Now you can, of course, set descriptions for these various images if you would like, and as you can see, you can also import these from a CSV. In my case, just mapped some basic static images like that. Now, the next thing you can do is you can map dynamic values from Salesforce. And I'm going to select that, and I'll head to Source. And in my source, I'm going to, in my case, just bring data from account. Keep in mind, you can bring this from any record in Salesforce that holds a public URL of an image. So I can bring images from any public URL as long as I can access it. I'll be able to display it in Titan. So in this case, I have a few accounts with long URLs that carry different images here. And what I'm going to do is write a simple condition that I just happen to know that all of these accounts will have images for me. And now I'm able to map images to my gallery. Now, original is basically the large image that we're going to get on top. So let's do long URL for that. We also have like thumbnail here, so I can map that here as well. And then I have a bunch of other options of things I can map. For example, I can add a description. So let's do like the account name as the description just so I can show you where that is. And we'll also do the thumbnail title as well. Let's just do that account ID just as an example. We'll apply this. And of course you can map, as you saw, a few different places, a few different other things there as well. All right, save. And if I preview here, so you can see that these images are being brought dynamically from Salesforce. These are not the static images that we mapped earlier, but images that I just ran in and get, and we can see one of them here, and that corresponds to this image right over here. We can also see that I'm getting here the account name, and again, we can map more things so that we see, for example, data on the thumbnails themselves, and we can add some more information here. Now, let's get back to our builder, sorry. All right, now all of these essentially work in the same way in that I'm able to edit the mapping and I can map the different data, and depending on the element, it's going to be slightly different mapping terms, but essentially it's going to be the same, where I can map an image, description, title, name. All this can come dynamically from Salesforce, and I can bring it into my element the exact same way that I did here, and that goes for all of these different options here. All right, the next thing that we want to look at is some of the interactivity options that we have for these elements. So if I head over to interactivity, you can see I have a few different options here, and depending on the element, I'll have slightly different options. So for example, in this, I'm able to decide whether I want to show the navigation arrows or not. I can show the option of moving this into full screen mode so that I can preview the whole image in full screen. I can decide to show thumbnails or not, decide where those thumbnails exactly should be aligned. I can do autoplay, which makes these automatically scroll through my different images. And I could also show the play button, which allows me to pause or play my autoplay essentially. Now, if I head to my different elements, you'll see some of these elements do not have specific interactivity, others do, and they all have similar, whether or not you want autoplay, how long you want the autoplay to last, if you want to show lightbox for thumbnails. So you have some basic interactivity options, and they're different depending on the element. So I hope you'll be able to make use of these cool features in your next project, and that's how it's done.